Congressman Brad Sherman is on the line with us, a Democrat from California representing the 30th District. Sherman.house.gov is the website. Congressman, welcome back to the program.
Good to be with you.
Great to have you with us. Is this natural gas blowout in your district?
You know, it's actually in Steve Knight's district. I represent maybe a third of the people affected. He represents about two-thirds of the people who are affected.
Okay, so tell us what's going on.
My home is just about as close as anyone's to the blowout.
Yikes! So what's happening here?
Well, you have an enormous amount of natural gas escaping. That's methane. That's other hydrocarbons associated with the methane in small quantities, and it's also the mercaptan, which is what gives methane the smell. It's designed to be alarming, annoying, and stinky to humans,
right.
And it does its job very well.
So basically, the people of your district and your colleagues' district are being poisoned by this gas call. My understanding is that there was this was a gas field. It was an oil and gas field back 60 years ago.
Yep.
They pumped all the oil out of there and were leaving a huge empty dome underground that over the last 50, 60 years, they've been using it as a storage site for natural gas, and that back in the 70s, the emergency shutoff valve failed, and they dug it up and looked at it and said, you know, it's going to cost more to fix, and just decided to go without it. And that's the reason why Southern California Gas made that decision back some decades ago, and that's the decision why they can't turn. That's the reason why they can't turn this thing off now. Do I have that right?
You do have that right, although what would have been better back in 1979, because they couldn't get the parts to fix this shutoff valve or safety valve, because it was so old, is they should have removed it and replaced it. And if they didn't make that decision in 79, they could have made the right decision in 89 or 99 or any day for the last several decades. Instead, there is no deep subsurface shutoff valve. The new ones are better because they're positive pressure, and so they will stop the gas if there's an earthquake, or they'll stop the gas unless they're getting pressure to let the gas go through. So this is the fifth largest natural gas facility in the country. This is the largest natural gas leak in history, and we've got thousands of families that have been relocated at the expense of SoCalGas.
Yeah. Excuse me. We're talking with Congressman Brad Sherman, representing the 30th District of California, which has been affected by this methane blowout. The governor just declared a state of emergency, which I assume gives him additional powers to deal with this and might bring some federal money or attention to it. Is that right, and is that the right thing to do?
Well, it gives him the power to order people to do what needs to be done to deal with the emergency. Point 3, to me, is the most important part, and it needs to be tightened. And I'll be we've contacted the governor's office on that, and I'll send them a formal letter, either probably last thing today. Mm-hmm. It orders SoCalGas to remove the gas to the maximum extent that they can sell it or store it elsewhere. And that's what they have been doing. The problem is SoCalGas still regards this gas as an asset when it's really a toxin. And they should be withdrawing the gas day and night, every hour of the day, as quickly as they can. What can't be sold in the ordinary course, what can't be stored elsewhere, they can give to the electric utilities, who can generate unneeded electricity and either sell it on the grid at a discount or just ground it. Right. But the electric utilities in the winter are running a lot less natural gas than they are in the summer because people aren't using the air conditioning. So we certainly don't want to flare or leak this gas elsewhere, but we need to pull it out not only to meet consumer demand, but to incinerate it safely wherever that can be done.
Which raises an interesting question. In fact, somebody called into this program yesterday and asked this question. Why are they not flaring this gas? I mean, if you burn natural gas is mostly methane, which is 80 times more potent a greenhouse gas for at least, its half-life is about, I think, 28 years or thereabouts. So every 20 years, roughly, it becomes half as potent. But, in the first few decades or even the first century of its existence, it's so much more potent than CO2. But if you burn it, the methane breaks into two carbon, the two molecules of carbon dioxide.
Cleanly, then you're not warming the planet any more than if you use it in the ordinary course, which of course is to burn it cleanly.
So why aren't they flaring this stuff? Why don't they ignite that volcano?
There are two things that they could flare. They are trying to engage in a methane capture program, which will be tough to try to the gas is bubbling out, somehow capture it, and then flare it. They're willing to flare that which is being lost, but what they're not willing to do is extract the gas and flare it. We're dealing with millions of cubic feet, which is the leak. You're talking about billions of cubic feet in storage, and they only want to withdraw from storage what they can sell. They don't want to withdraw from storage that which they would have to flare. So they're willing to waste or flare the gas that leaks, but this is a huge reservoir. They told me 77 billion cubic feet, and then after a lot of cross-examination said, oh yeah, and also 60 billion additional cubic feet that we call cushion gas. Wow. So you're talking about well over 100 billion cubic feet of natural gas.
So and they're reluctant to flare this.
And they're only willing to extract what they can sell.
And they're reluctant to flare this anywhere else in order to reduce the pressure at the leak site because...
They are reducing the pressure, but only to the extent they can sell the gas.
Yeah. And, so this is a classic example of profits over the commons, is it not?
I think it's bad profits policy. The trial lawyers are coming to Porter Ranch. There are meetings with over 1,000 potential plaintiffs at a time. Mm-hmm. I think it's penny wise and pound foolish for SoCal Gas not to be pulling this gas out as quickly as they possibly can. Now, they'll tell you they're pulling out 1 billion cubic feet a day on average, but if they viewed the natural gas as a toxin to be eliminated rather than an asset to be sold, they'd be pulling more.
Right.
And I'm meeting with some of their executives later today. I've made this plain. Last time I met with their executives, and it's sometimes hard to get a straight answer.
Yeah, remarkable. Congressman, thanks so much for coming on the program and sharing the story with us.
Good to be with you, and I look forward to the day when my neighbors in Porter Ranch can move back into their home.
There you go. Congressman Brad Sherman, sherman.house.gov. You can tweet him at Brad Sherman. Congressman, thank you again.
Good to be talking to you.
Really appreciate you dropping by.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.